Welcome to Real Life with Jenny. My name's Jenny Senaparatna. Grab your favorite drink, get yourself a snack, and we will get started. Today I have white chocolate peppermint tea. It is non-caffeinated and quite a delicious holiday treat. And then I have a caramel scone. So life is pretty good over here. Let's get real. So today I want to talk a little bit about something that seems a little petty, maybe. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's encouraging to you. But there has been a major transformation in my life that I really want to talk about. And it really goes back to something that I used to disagree with, and I'm kind of coming around to it. I'm not 100% sure. But when my daughter was in 6th grade, they had an emotional intelligence class that she was going through. And I love the teacher. She was fabulous. But one of the books, the main book they went through was 7 Habits of a Highly Effective Teen. Now, it's pretty close to the 7 Habits of a Highly Effective Person, which I have never read. I know all the 7 things, just never read them. It's okay. But one of the things that I've always kind of disagreed with was the win-win policy, that you can come to a place that both sides can win. And I'm like, yeah, that's not truth. Like, there's always someone that loses something. And I understand I haven't read the book, and it really doesn't matter for this podcast. So it's okay. So we just went out east, my husband and I alone, and I did a podcast on that. But one of the things that we love to do is play games on our trips. So ever since we first got married, like, we always play some kind of crazy game on the trip. And this year, I actually came up with a game, and it was a point system. And I just randomly came up with it one day as we're driving through Philadelphia to our next place. I think that's when it came up. And I just came up with a random number of amount of points that every morning you got up and you had 7 points. That's how many I came up with. Why? I have no idea. Doesn't really matter why I came up with the 7 points. But you had 7 points to spend however you wanted to spend them, which means that if you wanted to stop and do something, you used your point. If you wanted to eat somewhere, you used your point. Like, it was kind of a free-for-all. And we could earn points. We played games to earn points, different things like this. So fast forward a couple days into the trip, and we went grocery shopping. And I was trying to get stuff for breakfast because I like to bring breakfast with us from place to place. It just makes life so much easier. So we're there, and I thought, I'm just going to do cereal this time because I really wasn't in a place that I was like, oh, I want to toast, and all that seemed like a lot of work. So I went, and they did not have our type of milk, 1% milk. Now, I was like, okay, not a big deal. We'll get 2% because I just thought, let's just do 2%. It's easy. It's quick. Let's just do it. So I got my little cereals and my milk. Next morning, get up. I'm eating this cereal. And I'm like, why is this cereal so miraculous? Like, it is. I've had this cereal before. I don't even remember which cereal it was because I bought 3 different kinds. And I was like, this is just completely delightful. Like, how did Honey Nut Cheerios become like the most delicious Honey Nut Cheerios ever? Yes, I'm used to generic. I get that. But, like, they can't be that much better. And I realized it was the milk. Like, 2% milk is just really yummy. And my mind starts thinking about this milk. And I'm like, okay, when we got married, we made a compromise. One family drank skim milk, the other drank 2%, so we compromised on 1%. Like, it was one of the many compromises we made in our marriage. You know, that his family did one thing, my family did another, we compromised in the middle, and it just was the way we did everything. And so it's been 27 years that we've been married, and we have been drinking 1% ever since, for those 27 years. And I was sitting there, and I'm in this apartment, and I'm eating this divine cereal milk combination. Maybe I was really hungry. I don't know what was going on, but I thought, wait a minute. Kevin no longer drinks milk. He has become lactose intolerant and no longer drinks milk or has ice cream. And so I have been compromising on my milk for over 15 years for really no reason. Like, what is the point? I kind of started getting a little in the high stuff. I was just a little like, I can't believe I've done this. Like, this is completely ridiculous. And so I went to like talk to him about it. And I'm like, I'm thinking about this, and we made this compromise. And he starts he like chuckles to himself. I'm like, this is not funny. Like, I don't think I should have compromised on this. And because you don't drink milk. And he was like, well, you didn't. And I was like, what? And he was like, your family was the skim milk family. My family was the 2% family. And I was like, oh, that's right. I was quite embarrassed, I'll be honest with you. And it was just at that moment that the game that I talked about before, kind of clicked into place. Like, I have spent so much of my life making sure everybody else was happy that I just assumed that it was a loss for me. I just absolutely 100% thought this compromise was a loss for me. And because most of my compromises are. And it wasn't a loss for me. It was actually a loss for Kevin. Not that skim milk is bad, but man, 2% is good milk. And yes, we have switched to 2% since we got home. I'm just going to say that now. My daughter actually said, what's going on? Why do we have different milk? And I'm like, because it's a new win for your mother. And she just thought I was crazy, but that's okay. So during this time that I'm thinking about milk and I am thinking about things that I wanted to do, probably for the first time in years, I just realized that it's not about a win-lose situation for me. It's about that I'm not willing to think about what a win means for me. I'm not really normally willing to think about what is a win for Jenny. I am always thinking about what's a win for my kid, what's a win for my work, for my boss, what's a win for the people I work with, what's a win for the people in the church, what's a win for from my mom, everyone in my life, what's a win for them? I never really think about what's a win for me. And it has been so bizarre to think that way because that game happened and I was the one that used all the points. I don't think Kevin ever used his points because he can speak his mind and think about what he wants to do and isn't afraid to say what he thinks. Why am I? I don't know. But I would never say, hey, I want to go eat here just in case someone else didn't. I can't eat the last piece of pizza because what if someone else gets hungry and needs that piece of pizza? So I'll just put it in the fridge instead of eating it, even though maybe I'd like to eat it. It is a crazy philosophy because I'm always thinking everyone else wins, Jenny loses. And so the other day we went to a church and we're just kind of checking out churches and saying hello and encouraging them just in the last couple weeks, and it's been really fun. And this church was done by 10 a.m. 10 a.m. I could not even believe how excited I was. It was a great service, and I was out in my car at 5 after 10, and I was like, this is amazing. And so we're on our way home, and I looked at the clock, and I joked, hey, we got out of church early enough to go get McDonald's breakfast. And my husband was like, okay, let's do it. And I'm like, no, we can't do it. We can't do that. That's irresponsible. No, we better not. Now, to be fair, McDonald's breakfast is my favorite breakfast of all times. I think I could eat a McDonald's breakfast every day of my life and never get bored. I just absolutely love their breakfast. Is it good for you? No. But do I care? No. And he was like, let's go do it. It's the turn off right here. Let's just go do it. And I was like, I came up with 1,000 reasons in my head in those 30 seconds. Okay, maybe not 1,000, maybe 900 reasons why not to go. First of all, we don't eat out when we're at home. It's a waste of money and it's just not something we can go home and eat something. I can make one at home. It's almost the same, right? I came up with 1,000 reasons to not go. And then I thought of the game and I thought of what is a win for me. I really did. I thought, what is a win for me? And lo and behold, we took the turn off and we went through the McDonald's drive-thru and had a great breakfast. Did it cost us a lot of money? No, it didn't, because I used the app, which is amazing. And they always have coupons. Anyway, and I was like, this is just super great. This is a win for me. And then the other day, we're home and we made a compromise, which is so fun for me. It's a win for Jenny. We never actually used to do Christmas decorating till after Thanksgiving, one holiday at a time. And I really didn't like that because I love the Christmas season. I have Rubbermaids full of Christmas decorations. I would buy Christmas decorations over anything else. And so we made the compromise that we could do it mid-November. And so we're decorating this year, and my husband brings in one of the Rubbermaid tubs from our shed. And it is one that I never put up because it's a lot of work. And I don't normally have him bring it in because then he has to carry it in and carry it out. And so I don't ever have him bring it in. It's just a lot of work for him. And he was like, I brought it in. I think you should put it up. And I'm like, oh, I don't think so. Like, then I have to take down all Sam's decorations. And she loves those decorations. And, then you have to bring it in and bring it out. And it's all this work. And he's like, Jen, put it up. And so I took out what is Sugartown. It is actually a Precious Moments little sugar. It's like a little town. And it is so cute and adorable. I will probably put it up on my social media. Little dogs and little bunny rabbits in front of a fire. And it's so cute. And I put it up and it just sparked joy for me. I was like, this is just super cute. It was really brought me joy. And I thought, why have I never spoken up? It is one Rubbermaid in the house, Rubbermaid out of the house. And it didn't bother him. It was just like, why wouldn't we be putting this up? And I'm like, well, because I didn't want to bother you. And and it was a win for me. And so I just want to encourage you, because I'm guessing, I realize I'm odd and I'm, probably a little more extreme than you are in these areas. Maybe you speak up a little bit more, you do things that you want to do. But how many times have you compromised and it's a lose-win situation because you're losing and that's okay? And when is it time for you to start doing things that's a win for you? When is it time to start putting things in place that are a win for yourself? And you probably have gotten in the habit, like I have, if you aren't big into making sure that you win and you're always worried about everybody else and their feelings and their emotions. And not that I'm not saying that's not important, but you've put all of your feelings and all of your wants and desires on the back burner, and that you don't even know what they are anymore. Like, you're not even sure what you're excited about anymore. And I'm telling you, in the last month, I had no idea how many things that actually bring me joy that I've stopped doing, or I've put on the back burner, or I do just every once in a while because I don't want to bother other people. And I've put those a little bit more forward. And I'm like, it's okay for me to have a win. It is okay for me to do things that spark joy in my life. It may not spark joy in everyone else's life, just down to the even minute of what we're going to have for dinner. It is okay for me to say, hey, I have been thinking about this meal. We're going to make it. No one else may eat it. You may all eat leftovers, but this is what I'm going to make for dinner. And because it's something that I want. I know. Seems a little foreign to most of us. Maybe not to you, but to me, it's like a completely foreign thought that I don't think, well, what do other people want? And, what would be good for everybody else really loves chicken. I'm not a big chicken fan, but we eat chicken at least twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. And I mean, I've been making pork chops for years. And finally, I was like, I'm going to make pork chops the way that I want pork chops, not the way everybody else wants them. And it has changed the way I look at pork chops. All of a sudden, I'm like, this is a win for me. This is not something that is gross and disgusting. I actually really like these, and it is fun. And I think we need to start looking at more wins for ourselves. The Lord talks a lot about his love for us. And in the Bible, John 3:16 is a verse that we have all learned and is up at all the concerts and all those different things. But we've lost the power of John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his son so that we could have everlasting life. Now, I've just summarized it, right? But it is a win-win verse. It is a win that God loves us, and it is a win that we get to love him back. Like, it is just a win-win verse. And when you look at the Bible and you look at God's love and his complete sacrifice for us, for him it was a win-win. It was not a lose. There was no losing in it. It was a win-win. And I think it's okay for us to start seeking after wins for ourselves. And so that's my encouragement for you today. I just encourage you to, between now and the end of the year, that every day you say, what would be a win for me? And I think you're going to unlock some passions. You're going to unlock some habits. You're going to unlock just some adventures that you never knew that you really needed. Because we get so used to taking care of everyone else that maybe between now and the new year, every day we think, what will be a win for me today? And see what will happen. See what kind of wins are out there for you. And I'm excited for that adventure because for me, this last month has been so fun. I am learning things about myself that I love, that I'm allowing myself to do things that I never thought were possible. So let's do this together and try to get a win for ourselves. And I'm sure everyone in your life, it will be a win for them because when you're happy, other people are happy because you're happy. And that's okay. So let's look for some wins, whether it's in your finances, in your friendships, in your church, in your workplace, in your marriage, with your kids, with your parents, whatever. Look for a win in those areas. Well, that's all I have for you this week. You can find me at Real Life with Jenny on Instagram, Facebook, and Be Real. You can also find me at christconnection.cc/Jen. Now, I'm trying something new. Speaking of wins. And I'm a little nervous about it, but that's okay. I joined a new website. It is Buy Me a Coffee. And I'm going to have the links in on Facebook and on Instagram. I'll have the links there in the bio. And it is a way to donate the price of a coffee to this podcast. I know it's kind of crazy, but it is just a way to, if you want to say thank you in a easy way, you can just go on, click, and donate a $4, $5 drink. Well, it's not really a drink, but it would be money. And it just says, buy me a coffee. And so that's kind of that would be a win for me if this podcast actually could move forward and make some monetary something. I don't know what that would even be, but it's something that my heart is, and I have things that I really want to do, but you need some money behind it. So that's just kind of my new, when you hear me say, hey, buy a cup of coffee, go to my profile, that's what it will be. So all that to say, I know that God's got some wins out there for you, and I think you need to make it a priority. You need to make yourself a priority between now and the new year and find some ways to have some wins in your life. And let's see what happens. Have a great week.